Thanks for coming in again this week, Desmond. How's everything been going?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, not bad.
How's everything been going at home?
Uh, me and my wife we had an argument.
Okay.
You know, got got on my nerves, and we exchanged words. Yeah.
So, what started that argument?
Um, Me coming in late,
Mm-hmm.
I went out with my brothers, and she started questioning me, and that just went on from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just a little bit, just you hanging out with your brothers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long did that last? I mean, did you guys stay mad at each other for the whole week, or did it just kind of end after that night?
For like a few days.
Okay.
Yeah.
And last week we talked about the treatment plan. We talked about some of the goals and some of the interventions and things like that. One of the goals was one of the things we want to focus on was your inability to stop smoking weed. And one of the things you agreed upon was going to a Narcotics Anonymous group. How did that go? Did you end up going?
That did go.
Okay.
I went. Went to one meeting.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of drug addicts there. So
Yeah.
not too many people, struggle with just marijuana. They usually have more serious issues.
So how did it go in there? How did you feel about your experience?
I felt weird. I'm not a drug addict,
Right.
so I felt kind of weird.
Mm. Did you speak, or were you just kind of observing the whole time?
Yeah, you can't speak until after you get a certain amount of chips.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this something? So, is this something you think you continue doing, or?
I mean, I probably can go for the sake. I don't see how to change anything, but I'll go.
Right. So, you feel like you have an open mind to it, or you just doing it, just kind of go through the motions, just kind of shut everybody up?
Kind of. I mean, I have an open mind to it, I guess.
Okay.
But I don't. Yeah, I have an open mind, but I just don't see it changing.
Okay. Well, it seems like you kind of send a couple mixed messages a little bit. You say you want to stop smoking weed because you talked about things like keeping your job, and you acknowledge a lot of the bad things that could happen if you lost your job on the account of smoking. But like we talked about in the past, you say you smoked a little bit. So it's kind of like the words aren't adding up with the actions a little bit. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you smoke this week?
Yeah, smoked a few times this week.
Okay, what's a few times?
Probably about 4 or 5 times. Yeah.
So you kind of see what I'm talking about, where the actions and the words aren't adding up a little bit. Is there? I know we talked about it a lot. It seems like we can continue to harp on this, but what's kind of holding you back from just go ahead and focusing and truly committing to stop smoking?
Because I don't see nothing wrong with it.
Okay.
I mean, you smoked before, huh?
Okay, so it sounds like you feel like marijuana isn't a bad thing, and everybody does it. Does that kind of sound about right?
Yeah.
Could you kind of go into a little bit further detail about why you feel that way?
I mean, you have a lot of states legalizing it.
Right.
And I've never seen nobody kill somebody because they was under influence of marijuana. I never seen nobody die from an overdose of marijuana.
Right.
It's natural. It's a natural herb.
Okay. Gotcha. So it's almost, I know, you have your own personal ideas about it, but, like we talked about in the past, your job has certain stipulations as well to kind of keep everybody in line. One of those stipulations is, marijuana smoking. You can't do it. It's almost like speeding. Like, everybody can do it, but if you get caught, there are consequences to that. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so with the smoking, I mean, I know that, it's something that you like to do, but, a lot of bad things can happen if you fail another drug test. How's things been going at work? Speaking of,
I mean, work has been, still real busy. I haven't had another drug test or nothing like that. But work is, busy and stressful.
Just the usual job stress.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are they still in the process of going under new management? Or?
Yeah, they're still in that process, and they haven't really finalized it a lot, but it is still in the process of that.
Right, and it seems like you're a little bit less stressed about that. I think you kind of.
I mean, I accept it. Whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen.
Great, good. I mean, because I know at one point it was a really high stress thing for you. It seems to have been alleviated a little bit. So I want to commend you for reducing that stressor in your life.
Gotcha.
And at the last meeting, we also talked about, identifying some triggers for marijuana use.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about maybe, doing a journaling with the phone, prior to you smoking. You say you smoked a few times, 4 or 5 times this week. Did you attempt to do that this week?
I did.
Okay, good.
Did.
How'd that go?
It went all right. I just find like if I'm bored, I smoke.
Okay, so boredom.
Yeah, if I get agitated, I get frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
I smoke. If I start feeling down about something,
okay,
I find myself smoking.
Right.
And you with my wife, we get into it. I just got to smoke.
Mm-hmm. So I really want to commend you. You identified some triggers, and these things will kind of help you, notice some feelings or some situations arise that may lead you to smoking. So the next time you get bored, instead of smoking, maybe you can do something more constructive. Maybe. And I know we kind of it seems like a lot of regurgitation, like we keep kind of harping back on the same thing, but just kind of trying to identify some ways to keep you from smoking, or at least reduce it. Because like I said, we don't want to have the negative repercussions of you failing another drug test. So you've done some of those things. Do you think maybe so good job with the journaling? Do you think maybe next time you can identify these situations because you know them now, and possibly do something else to kind of take you away from smoking?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
Good job. Yeah. That's good. It's really hard for people to kind of sit down and admit some things that kind of lead them to smoking, because it takes a lot of self-reflection, and just really it takes a lot of being honest with yourself. So you did a really good job of being honest with yourself, and admitting some of the things that some of the stresses and things that have caused you to smoke. So I really want to commend you on that, and I want to encourage you to continue to do that. The more you do this, the more you can kind of refine, get it down to specific situations. So maybe this week it was, when I'm bored. In 3 weeks it could be, when I'm just in the afternoon, on the weekend, when there's nothing to do. So maybe, focus on a specific time. So that's kind of where that's going to lead to.
Gotcha.
Last week we also, we talked about, the ADHD, and you had a doctor's appointment, and you want to talk to your doctor about getting back on your ADHD medication. How did that go?
I did go. He did. He said he was gonna set up like an assessment.
Okay.
To see if I'm still struggling with ADHD. So I'm just I have another appointment like in about a week and a half.
Okay. And you plan on attending that?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. So you are, like we talked about, you are, committed to, trying the medication out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just see what it's about. See if it's gonna help.
Right. And it could, definitely, like we said, it could be a possible, not solution, but kind of something to take you away from marijuana use, because you like to smoke to kind of keep you focused a little bit. You said, well, the medication may help you with your focus and lessen the chance that you are smoking. So good job with that. With the with staying on top of your medications and things like that. With the smoking, how's everything with the kids? I know they were at summer camp.
Yeah, they're still in summer camp. They're doing good. They start school back up next month, but they're doing okay.
Okay, good. And going back to your wife, you and the wife are home now, so this could be some good opportunities to bond with your wife. Some bonding experiences with the kids not there. I know we talked about some of the arguments you guys are having, and some of the disagreements, and how they was kind of linger on and on. This could be this could definitely be a time where you could use to kind of rekindle some things with your wife, do some activities, because one, what that'll do is help you with your relationship with your wife, and also get you into doing some activities, getting you out and preventing that boredom or preventing that agitation. So it doesn't necessarily have to be expensive, like a cheap movie date maybe, or going to get some food, or maybe cooking together, something like that could definitely help you, like I said, with the relationship.
Gotcha.
How do you feel about doing some of those things with her?
I think that'd probably be helpful. Yeah, it would be helpful.
Yeah, because I know, but we talked about you didn't want to do marriage counseling because you kind of felt like you were just past that point with her. But possibly making an effort.
I think if we both work on ourselves, it can help. So I think if she go to counseling for herself,
right,
and work out her own issues, it'll help out.
Have you discussed that with her?
It usually end up in an argument.
Okay. Well, maybe, you know, a lot of times it's not what we say, it's kind of how we say it and how we present it to someone. So, for instance, if I come to you and say, hey, you need to stop smoking, how likely are you going to be to stop smoking?
Probably not.
So it's almost the same way with your wife. If you come to her and say, hey, you need to work on your issues, she you know, may not be as receptive to your advice. Do you think maybe you could, you know, present it to her in a, you know, a more pleasant
Probably
manner?
so. Yeah, probably in a different manner. Yeah.
Would that be something you'd be willing to do?
I'll try. That's something I'll try to work on.
Okay, good. Yeah. I mean, because you've acknowledged that, you know, maybe possibly her getting therapy could help her. So you kind of want to, you know, present it to her in a way that is, you know, going to encourage her to do it. So I would, you know, definitely encourage you to try that and see how that works. Because, you know, you're doing therapy now and, you know, you want to see her improve as well. So I would definitely say go ahead and try to do that with your wife. How's things going with your brother? I know you said you went out with him, kind of got you in trouble the other night.
Yeah. I mean, my brother, we have a good relationship, you know. He was the one who I was smoking weed with.
Oh, this week you smoked with him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, sorry to cut you off. What happened between, you know, the time when we talked about, you know, developing a relationship without use of marijuana use with your brother? How it's been kind of reverting back?
Because it's kind of like the norm. You know, he usually have marijuana. Usually, if he have it, or I have it. So the convenience of it.
Gotcha. So it's just kind of something we just do just to do.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't think that's going to change though, or just?
It probably can change. I know I need to change it because of my job. Not that I want to change it, you know, but I need to change it.
Right, and that just kind of goes back to the whole, you know, actions and words. You know, trying to making sure everything kind of lines up. We talked about that. You identified the triggers. How have you been doing with coping with everything with your stress? Was your marijuana smoking this week, was it more due to stress? I know you said boredom, but were you stressed out as well?
Yeah, you know, my wife, you know, just stressing me out, getting on my nerves, and I needed something just to help me.
Okay, so you kind of sounds like you're focusing, you know, you're using marijuana as a kind of like a problem solver almost. Like whenever you're going through something, this would be the answer, marijuana.
It never failed me.
Never, okay.
That relationship had failed me, but not that Mary Jane.
Okay. With that, I mean, you know, you say that, but on one hand, you know, you say it hasn't failed you, but it's kind of got you into some tight situations, and like with work and, you know, some other situations. So, is it safe to say that maybe it isn't as, you know, effective as you may think it is, or?
I mean, for the moment, it helps me feel good for that particular moment.
Right, but afterwards, how's everything?
And I still feel good for a while because I still be high. I just know that I shouldn't be doing it.
Right. So let me ask you this: you know, when you smoke, where do those problems go? It kind of
like it makes you feel that you don't even care what happens.
Okay. So and then, you know, when your high comes down, where are those problems at?
It's still right there.
Okay. So you kind of see what I'm saying? Like, you know, you know, the problems are still going to persist.
That's true.
So the marijuana, is it safe to say marijuana may not be as an effective problem solver?
I think for the moment. You see what I'm saying? Like, just for that moment.
Right.
Because I haven't found anything yet to make me feel good when I'm stressed out like that.
Right. So we need to probably look for some, you know, longer term problem solving solutions. Because like we say, you know, marijuana is just good for that moment. And then once it's over, you know, the problems are still there. Problems with your wife, you know, problems with work and things like that. With that, let's talk about some things that maybe some other, you know, problem solving situations. You know, earlier we talked about some methods where we looked at, you know, the situation. We looked at some advantages, some disadvantages, and, you know, which led you to a more thought out solution. Would that be something that you know, be interested in continuing to do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, and that method is, you know, it's kind of, you know, it's pretty much just have you ever heard of cost benefit analysis?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's kind of like a more advanced version of that. But what you can do a basic cost benefit analysis as well. We just kind of take the situation, you know, put the pros here, the cons here, and you kind of look at which outweighs which, and that kind of can help you with the problem solving. That's also good as well with dealing with boredom. You know, that can, in times you're kind of bored or stressed out, you can use that, and, you know, something kind of like to keep your brain flowing a little bit.
Gotcha.
And kind of take your mind off of, you know, using marijuana. So, going back to the situation, with your wife, we talked about the relationship. So you say you were angry, and this week, your communication was pretty negative towards her, right? Okay. What are some ways that we can, that you can maybe possibly communicate a little bit better? We've identified one, which is, changing the way we present things to her. Can you identify two more?
Probably talk about it when she and I both are not upset.
That's
like at a neutral time.
Good point. Because when emotions are high, you're more likely to say some things that you may regret or that you don't, necessarily really feel. You just want to be mean, and kind of rub it in. So definitely identifying a neutral time when talking to her could definitely help the communication when you guys have an issue. What's another thing that maybe you could do?
Probably stop the arguing. Because we argue a lot, so probably stop raising my voice or something like that.
Okay, so lower the voice tone. Okay, so using that situation the other night when you came in late, instead of yelling at her and arguing with her, now that we've identified some things, what will be a better alternative to that?
Probably just listen to her, wait till I calm down and talk to her then.
Right. Okay, good. And so that's something that you may be willing to do?
Yeah.
Okay, and it seems like, there's a pattern. Once a week you come in, there's an argument with your wife. So would it be safe to say there may be something that you guys disagree on this week?
Most definitely.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let's try to use those some of those alternate ways of communicating when you're angry.
Okay.
Because it seems like what happens is you guys get angry with each other, and the argument kind of lingers for the rest of the week and kind of festers and can definitely affect you. And combining that with doing some things doing some activities together can definitely kind of help that the relationship with you and your wife.
Gotcha.
So those are some things that you really want to do.
Well, I think I can do that.
Yeah. You did a really good job this week, Desmond. Of you came in. You opened up a lot more. I want to commend you for that. You started to make the steps towards doing some things. With the Narcotics Anonymous meeting. You identify some triggers of your marijuana use, all which are definitely hard things to do. Do you feel like things are starting to turn around a little bit better? Or
I feel a little better because I didn't want to come to counseling at first, but I feel a little bit more better now.
Okay, good.
I feel more positive about it.
And how's your overall mood? I know a lot of times in the past you talked about being tired a lot. How's your general mood been this week?
Up and down. I have my good days and my bad days.
Okay. Would you say more bad days and good days?
Probably half and half.
Half and half. Okay. That's good. I mean. That's with most people, Some days I don't feel like coming in either, just tired, But it's good that you, identified some of those things and, working towards, making, increasing your overall mood is definitely something that is definitely a key to happiness for anybody. Those are some things that you want to do. So let's go ahead and close it out let's talk about, two good things that happened to you this week that you can identify.
I still have my job.
Okay, that's that's a good thing.
And I got a paycheck, so
okay,
that's those two good things.
Definitely very positive things. Those are two great things. Payday is not bad.
Yeah.
So what are some things some things you're looking forward to for the following week, for this upcoming week?
Probably spending some time with my kids this week.
Okay.
I'm taking a few days off work, so that's some couple of things that's pretty good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And are you still gonna attend those meetings this week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it looks like you got some good things going. I always like to end on a positive note because a lot of times, like I say, we so focused on the negative that the positive definitely gets swept under the rug a little bit. And what we want to do is just kind of help you see a lot of positive things going on because it's positives are really good reinforcers. So, for instance, at your job, if you went to work every day and after 2 weeks you didn't get paid, how likely are you to stick around at job?
Probably I won't.
Right. That positive reinforcer is, that positive thing is that check. That check kind of keeps you going, right? Those are almost things like in life, you want positive things keep you going. So, try to identify a lot of positives as much, even the smallest things, like you say, you still have your job. That's a positive. That's something that you can continue to, work towards and something to keep you going.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, you know, some things that we want to look forward to. And then, you know, next week, Desmond, we'll talk about some things, kind of follow up on some things, and also address some of the other areas of the treatment plan.
Okay.
Does that work for you?
Yeah.
All right. So we'll see you next week. And if you need things, just give me a call. Okay, Desmond?
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
All right.